Came in a little bit early. Thought I was going to be late. Say hello when you're around. Fuck, it smells here. Wow, the smell here is just rancid. Hello, 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 internet peoples of the internets. I'm on a little bit early here. I don't know if anybody's there. What's going on? What's happening? Say hello, chat. I am here at St. Helens Meat Packers in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Here to show this disgusting hellhole facility to the world and break my silence as a former slaughterhouse inspector. I worked for the Canadian government. Hi, Annie. For over 15 and a half years. And now I'm here to share my story. Stories that often don't get told, and a lot of people aren't aware of what happens with their food system. Hayden, sorry. Yeah, guys, hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, share it out. We're gonna be here for a little while. I call this the most disgusting street in Toronto, maybe possibly Canada. Here they have drums that they fill with the animal byproducts. That's what they call them. So people can put them in their oils for their fats, for their French fries or other animal products. Pretty gross stuff. This car I wanted to get on record because last time I was here, he drove it right behind me. He was parked here. He got a ride from a company called Syntax, I believe. I'm gonna go up and get the name of the truck. I did already get it on the last live stream. And I told the manager laughed me off. He said, fuck off, basically. So I just wanted to get it on record that that's the car. I have his license plate. It's the employee, the skinnier employee that harasses me every single time. Do me a favor, hit like, hit that heart button, turn on all the notifications, subscribe, do all the things, guys. I'm just trying to get the word out there, the truth about our food system, the truth about what takes place. So this guy got a ride over to his car from another company. He drove his car right up behind me as to maybe intimidate me, or I don't know, maybe worse. What if he lost control of his car? So for context, I'm out here bearing witness to cows who are about to get sent to slaughter. So they're about to be shot in the face, often pregnant, and their lives are going to be taken. So I started the stream a little bit early, so maybe that's why it hasn't picked up with a lot of people. But I'm going to go over here and show you guys something maybe you've never seen before. And I wanted to wait till there's a few more people in the room, but we're in an industrial area. However, you would think it was industrial, but there's actually, unfortunately, this is near a community. There's literally a playground around the corner with children that play. And what happens is the seagulls, the crows, they go and they grab the body parts, the discarded body parts at the slaughterhouse, and they end up driving or dropping them in the park there, which creates more birds to go there to eat, and they lay feces. And so yeah, it's overall disgusting what happens here. So I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. My name's David as well. And I'm showing what's happening with our food system, and I'm trying to make people aware of their food choices. About 12 or 13 years ago, I changed I didn't realize that you could change. And so today I'm bearing witness to the cows that are going to be sent to slaughter. And I'm going to implore that everyone open up their heart, use compassion and kindness, and live vegan. Now, I know that might be a lot for some people, but if someone like me can figure it out, certainly others can. So guys, Bobby, why fuck no? Why fuck no? Do you hate animals? Do you think they should be tortured, confined, artificially inseminated, genetically engineered? Do you think people should have violent crime rates around their communities? Do you think that this system that makes more drug addicts, more alcoholics, again, more violent crime should exist? Or do you think we should move away from it? Do you think we should move away from violence, away from teaching the world that violence is okay? I think we should move away from it. And I think a lot of people do. I think we're conditioned to think that we have to eat animals. So somehow we justify that and we think we have to. Yeah, well, we're not thousands of years ago. We survived many of things thousands of years ago. You're on a phone, right? If you're on a phone, you didn't have a phone thousands of years ago. We can evolve, right? We can move away from it. Well, your opinion, but have you been inside a slaughterhouse? Do you think pandemics are a good thing? Do you think increasing our costs on the healthcare is okay? Do you think torturing animals is okay? Because I'll tell you what, I worked in slaughterhouses. I'm an ex-slaughterhouse inspector. I used to work in this place and I saw what took place, and it's nothing but violence. In fact, I come out here to bear witness and film, and I get attacked by people just for standing on a sidewalk and filming. My take is that we don't need to hunt. Hunt is a thrill of the kill. It always has been. I mean, maybe not way back when people thought they needed it for sustenance, but certainly today they farm deer. They have thousands of deer farms. People go out and they hunt for fun. It's pleasure. You love, well, there you go. There's a video called What Killing Animals Does to Your Brain, Bobby. I highly recommend you watch it. It's on YouTube. It talks about how we lose empathy. And I bet you remember that first kill vividly, and you probably felt bad about it. I've talked to hunters who say they cried about their first experience because their parents took them out. Hey, Johnny, vegan seed, defender of animals, how are you? So they lost empathy and they moved to apathy, and maybe some of them moved to psychopathy. Because it's not necessary, right? You don't have to kill animals. You don't have to do it. People do it because it's fun, because it's some sort of weird cultural thing that they've been taught, and it's not necessary. Hey, Jayesh. I always forget how to pronounce your name, Jayesh. Anna, how are you? Thanks for being here. I started a little bit early. I probably should have waited until later, because like there's just not a lot of viewers in, but maybe that'll grow. We'll see. You're Scottish and British, so you're wondering, hunting is legal up to a point of deer. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what your question. What's your channel about? I'm Scottish. So I'm a vegan. I'm a former slaughterhouse inspector. I used to work for the Canadian government. My role was welfare. And I always thought you had to eat animals. My family worked in the industry. My mom, my grandparents, my uncle, my aunt. And so we just were conditioned to work in this industry. And one day I found out that you didn't have to eat animals. And I felt lied to my entire life. I feel like my family was lied to. I feel like everybody's lied to, being told that we have to do this. Holy fuck, the smell out here is just terrible. I can't even impress upon you. Guys, go out to a farmer's field or go to a slaughterhouse or go to a rendering facility near you, and you can smell how disgusting it is out here. Absolutely fucking gross. Bobby, you're repeating yourself, right? Yeah, Lenny, exactly. I think a lot of us thought that, you know, it was a normal thing to eat animals and stuff like that. But then, yeah, one day, you know, I learned that you didn't have to. Actually, I even took a chance. I thought I would be missing something. I was concerned about my health. I was like, okay, well, I got to do it because I just don't want to be a part of it. I didn't even know the word vegan, and then I changed. And then later on, I found about vegan, and then I found out about the philosophy, and now I'm an animal rights activist. You like meat. Well, the thing is, notice how you call them, the individuals, meat? Like, you take the individual out of who they were, right? You say meat, but they were an individual that wanted to live, right? They weren't just a blob of meat. How did that meat come to be, right? So they were slaughtered, their life was taken in a brutal fashion just so you could eat. I mean, I'm sure there's been meals that you've had that aren't meat, right? So you can very easily replace your taste pleasure, right? And a lot of people learn that, and that's why there's a lot of them in the chat here today. It's not mandatory to eat animals. In fact, there's people with allergies that can't eat animal flesh, and they live. There's, 150 million vegans in the world. There's probably close to 1 billion vegetarians in the world, although I don't agree with their ideas either. And then there's people that have never eaten animal flesh. So, not a big deal. Okay, well, guys, I'm gonna bring you somewhere maybe you haven't seen, and maybe that'll change your mind. I was hoping to get a few more people in the chat, but that's okay. Sometimes we hit the algorithm, sometimes we don't. Well, I come from a fishing background. My whole, we came from England and Ireland, and we went into Newfoundland, so I get it. We were part of that tradition and culture too, but we evolve. Again, we evolve, right? You're on a computer. You know, you're not living out in the wild. You're not surviving. You can live and thrive without animal products. And especially in England, I mean, there's so many vegan stores, products. I mean, it's very accessible there. You're very lucky to be in a place that has so many vegan restaurants and options. Hey, Peggy, how are you doing? Holy fuck, man. I just can't get over the smell. Again, guys, just absolutely reeks out here. People, like, there's communities right by. There's children that live next door. And if you didn't know, slaughterhouses, the communities surrounding them have higher violent crime rates. It increases massively. As well as PTSD, people turn to drugs, alcohol, workplace injuries. I mean, that's just the human side. And, you know, we're often always worried about the human side, but what about the animals, right? They get shot in the face. They get shot in the face. They have their babies taken away. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting what we do to the animals, and we don't have to. That's the whole point. It's not a necessity. I mean, you wouldn't have so many people arguing against it if it was a necessity, right? 12 years myself, and I'm just an average dude, right? Like, and I can figure it out, and I worked in slaughterhouses. Certainly people like yourself and others can figure it out. And we have resources if you're worried about food or nutrition or any of that stuff, but it's really the idea of not viewing animals as commodities, not calling them meat, or not calling them products, or whatever you think you need to call them in order to feel better about what you're doing, right? People will say they often love animals. That's a lot of lip service though, right? If you think about it, that's all it really is lip service. I love animals, but I eat them. That's a contradiction, right? Such a contradiction. Yeah. I want to go across, but this guy's got his vehicle. I imagine he's going to be backing in, and I just have to be careful because, again, I've been assaulted at this place. Not particularly Bank Bros and Sons. Well, actually, no, I have been assaulted here. Some guy sprayed the chemical soup bath on me here. And I guess you can call it, and they used their hose a few times on me here as well. So I guess you can call that assault. You know. So you can see here, guys, look how disgusting this is, right? Like, this is normalized violence right here, normalized. And we have people losing their mind, yelling at me right now. This guy got out of his truck. You're just yelling at me right now. See, and just told me to shut my mouth, right? Normalized violence, guys. Normalized violence. And the way people talk, I'm simply filming, right? I'm just filming on a sidewalk. That's what I'm doing. Why are you yelling at me? Why are you threatening me? I'm not lying. I heard yelling. I heard yelling. Now you're yelling at me and you just told me to fuck off. You told me to fuck off. Why are you yelling at me? I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I heard yelling. Okay, but I never heard that before when I came. I never heard that when I was across the street. No, I'm simply videoing. Why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me? The people on here care. The people on here care. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. You're yelling at me right now. What am I doing? I'm not lying. I heard yelling. I heard yelling. I heard yelling. I can't say I heard yelling. I'm not lying. This guy's yelling at me now. What does that have to do with your race? I'm fighting for you as well. I don't think you should be working here. I think this is dangerous for you to work here too. So you'll just want to get mad at me. I don't want anybody working in this. Can we talk? Yeah. Of course, I don't want you working in this place. I think it's dangerous for you too, man. I'm fighting for all the rights. There it is, guys. I mean, just triggered, right? I'm simply standing here. I heard employees yelling. And I pointed out, and he lost his mind on me. Now he's saying about race and stuff like that. I don't want anybody working in these places. I think it's dangerous for people to work in these places. The chemicals they inhale, the fact that they gotta leave this open because of the smell. They're inhaling that shit all day long. Can you imagine having to inhale that shit, seeing the violence, the skins of innocent animals at this disgusting place? Nobody should be working in this place. This is normalized violence. Hey, Jake, Evo, Steven, Angela. I mean, like, look how, like, just from filming here, I get yelled at, right? Like, that's normal. And then he's like, they weren't yelling at you, and he started yelling at me. Figure it out, right? I don't see why people think they have the right to come and scream and yell in my face either. And I've already let the St. Helens know that if someone approaches me in a threatening manner, I will defend myself. And I'm just pointing that out to everybody, letting even the police know. I already told them what's happening here. They didn't show up. They called me 3 hours after I reported someone using their car as a weapon and putting my life in danger, also being assaulted. And this is on a stream that you saw earlier. So I will defend myself. Just putting it out there. Maybe the police are watching in the background. Somebody's watching in the background. I will stand my ground. I've already been assaulted. I've already complained to the police. We've already called St. Helens to let them know. I'm going to stand my ground. That's it. I'm not going to sit around and let somebody try to snap a phone from my friend or try to assault me. I'm simply filming on a sidewalk and telling my experience, which is my fundamental freedom and expression in Canada. So that's what we're allowed to do, right? We're allowed to express ourselves. If we don't push back, if we allow the government or industry to just push us around, then who are we going to be in the future? I'm not going to be silenced. I'm going to express what I saw, and I think I have a different angle for sure. No, we're not here for that, but I'm sure there's sites that you can find for your, I don't bat that way, but there's nothing wrong with batting that way. If you want to be gay, you can be gay, but that's not what, this stream is for, Bill. There's websites you can go find your mate, your partner. Hi, Miss Teaspoon. I know, sure, it's kind of funny. Hi from Myanmar. Crazy. I mean, like, all for filming, this guy just lost his mind, right? And that happens over here near the slaughterhouse, and you might even see that today. Just for simply filming. I mean, there's cameras all over the place, and I simply just sit there and dictate my experience. You missed Ronaldo. How is Ronaldo doing these days? Is he still playing? Yeah, I just got yelled at by some worker. He said that I was lying on my stream about the workers yelling, even though I heard the workers yelling, and I pointed it out. And then he yelled at me and told me off, saying I was misrepresenting. So, some of these comments are crazy, right? So yeah, guys, it's on film. Guys, I'm at St. Helens. That was the tannery where they send the skins and they put them in chemical baths. And I don't want employees to work there. I don't want them working in this oil drum facility either. I think it's a human rights issue. It's disgusting. They're near chemicals all day long. And these are marginalized communities that are suffering, are the ones working in these places. It's not the college-educated people. It's definitely not the farmers. The farmers are just profiteers making money off of the exploitation of the workers. So it's kind of disgusting. So I'm pointing it out. I'm an ex-slaughterhouse inspector. I worked for the Canadian government 15 years. One day I learned that you didn't have to eat animals. And I thought, holy shit, I've been duped, I've been lied to. It took me a few years to grow the courage to speak up on camera, speak up about my experience, the things I saw. I'll share with you a few stories on the stream as well. Hey, Varun, thanks for being here. I'll share a couple of my stories as well as when I was an inspector and the brutal things that I saw, the terrible things that I saw, the normalized violence that takes place in these slaughterhouses, on farms. You wouldn't believe it. And the transportation in this country as well. You wouldn't believe. I wish I could put my mind in yours so you could see exactly the things that I saw. And then you would be out here with me today too. Even the biggest so-called meat eater. I used to eat burgers and chicken and all the shit too, but you can replace all that. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. If I can fucking figure it out, you certainly can. And so it's funny, when I was an inspector, I would be walking to a place like that. They'd roll out the red carpet and be like so kiss ass to me. Hey, Mel and Steve. They'd literally kiss my ass. They'd even offer me things. One of the establishments I went to, they offered me tickets to like Toronto nightclubs and women. They would always offer me food and discounts on certain whatever, their products. And I, like, you can't, but I could see where someone might be incentivized by that. And, you know, you bring that up to your supervisors, they're like, ah, ha, ha, ha. They just kind of laugh it off. And it really means nothing to them. So, yeah, this industry is really built and surrounded by token positions. So that was my position. Mine was a token position. I was given all these so-called abilities or regulations that I could enforce. But at the end of the day, that never really happened. You would report to your supervisor. They really wouldn't do much about it. So this is the place. That's where the cows get sent into slaughter. And then they glorify it on like this truck here. Because that's the end product. People see that, but they don't see what happens in here. Or like down the line, right? They don't see the mother cows getting shot in the face. Or having their babies stripped away. Or them sitting in crates all over the country in the winter with snow up to here on them. Just waiting, staring at nothing. And to be cut up and eaten and treated like complete garbage. That's what this system does. It treats animals like fucking, like even worse than garbage. I've seen, like we have recycling programs that are nicer to animals, or sorry, nicer to the products you recycle than you are to animals. That's how disgusting it is. And Marcus, just because something is delicious, does that justify violence? Does that justify murder? Does that justify torture? I don't think so. So I'm just putting on my tripod, bear with me. I'll turn it around here. So there's literally houses, you see that the rooftop houses there, community right beside the slaughterhouse. There's a park there, and there's children that play there. There's children that play in that area. Can you imagine having your house next door to a slaughterhouse? And these are, you know, usually subsidized housing, so they don't really have a choice. Maybe they don't even know that there's a slaughterhouse right by them. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely absurd. And so it's normalized violence, right? We wonder why we live in a society the way we do. We wonder why there's crime, why there's, you know, all this stuff happening in the world that's terrible, that's terrifying. Well, if we're consuming violence and we've accepted this as a normal social norm, how the hell do you think society changes? It won't. It will just continue to have violence as a social norm, as a social construct that this needs to happen or whatever, when it doesn't. And you'll see, like, a lot of the people in the chat as well, like, a lot of them are triggered because a lot of them have worked in the industry, a lot of them have taken lives, and they don't want to accept responsibility. They don't want to take accountability for what they've done. And it's easy to understand why, because you don't want to think that you're the bad guy. Like, everyone wants to be the good person in their story. So it's really understandable why people do fight back. And it's too bad. I mean, if you were to have a rational conversation with most of us, I'm pretty sure you can agree that we shouldn't harm or abuse animals. And I feel like we could all get to the line where we agree that we don't need to consume animals. So why would we? I mean, it's simple. Exactly. Mother cows do love their babies. If you didn't know what happens with dairy cows, there's a few videos you can check out. I do have a link in my description to a 3-minute movie challenge. If you're someone who's open-minded, if you're someone who thinks, maybe I'll take a look into these things, hit 2. If you're vegan, hit 1. And if you're a total loser, animal abuser who isn't open-minded, hit 3. So we've got some 1s, and we got, like, imagine. So Hayden, why don't you put that on a t-shirt? Say, hey, you know what? Everyone, I love to abuse animals. Put that on a t-shirt and walk around town. Hayden, do you have a dog? I'm just worried about any animals near you. Because someone who admits that has some really serious issues of empathy. Sparrow, well, they're not a steak, mate. They're innocent animals, right? We can move away from that. Why would you want to eat a mother cow that's been genetically engineered, who was forcefully impregnated, often sent to slaughter, who's pregnant? Like, wake up. Well, no, you call them steaks just to remove yourself from what takes place, right? Sparrow, it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing that you think it's okay to hurt mothers. Mother cows, what did they ever do to you? So we had a lot of ones in the chat. We had some twos. If the twos, go in my description, take a look at the 3-minute movie challenge. We have assistants there. There's people that can help you after you watch the challenge to go fully plant-based. We have something called Challenge 22. You have a free mentorship, free access to a dietitian. Again, 12 years vegan myself. I mean, I'm still here. I don't eat grass like you might have heard before. You know, there's people that have been vegan, born vegan. There's athletes that are vegan, plant-based. It's not really that difficult. So if it's not necessary, well, that's the thing, right? If it's not necessary, then why would you do that to little baby innocent animals? You know, they're all genetically engineered, right? So they're engineered to grow en masse. You know, a chicken, a poor chicken, a male chicken or a female chicken that you eat, generally will weigh about the equivalent to a 250-pound baby at just 42 days old. So if you think about that, think about the context of that, what that does to you. You know, they're covered in parasites. Hey, Mary. Covered in parasites, covered in pathogens like E. coli, Salmonella, Campylobacter. You can look these things up. And so they're literally put into a chlorine bath to try to kill all these pathogens. And then on top of that, they do spray chemicals on them to try to kill the pathogens and then tell you to cook the body so you can be so-called healthy. I mean, it's absurd. There's residues, there's antibiotic resistance, there's drugs that who knows that might get into your system as well. Basically, you're eating fat as well. And again, you're eating baby animals that wanted to live, that suffer in factory farms and small farms. They're suffering with diseases. Quite honestly, you know, they're falling on their faces. If you look at the videos, and if you're honest with yourself, if you're completely honest with yourself, you'll look into it. Like, why wouldn't you want to look into that? People wonder why there's pathogens and stuff like that, or they wonder why there's outbreaks of avian influenza. Well, think about it. These animals are in confined spaces. They're shitting and pissing everywhere. They're quite literally living in that. I am home. Why don't you come back instead of being a coward? There's the guy. So guys, this is the guy who tried to scare me with his car. Just for reference, he drove his car right behind me, threatening me. So this is the guy. Just keep that in mind. This is the guy who came at me with his car right there. This guy here. I've informed the police as well, so just thought I'd let you know. So sorry, where was I? A lot of people care. A lot of people don't want to be part of abusing animals. You can see a ton of people in the chat are vegan. Select one if you're vegan, guys. You can see a lot of people care. A lot of people are willing to stand up and fight for these individuals. And that's who they are. They're little individuals. Go to a sanctuary. Go visit them. Go see them for who they are. You can definitely change your perspective. Like, a lot of people will never meet their victims. A lot of people will never see these people. And they are people. If you didn't know, they do have subjective experiences. They can love. Many, like, a lot of people don't know that chickens purr. I mean, they can see in more colors than we can. considering you were an inspector, yeah, I agree. I financially benefited off of it, Sparrow. I agree. It's absurd. I'm ashamed of that. What can I say? I'm out here trying to atone. Is there something else you would like me to do, Sparrow? Would you like me not to talk about it? Would you like me not to tell my story about seeing the sheer abuse that I did see, that I go on podcasts, that I do share with people? I mean, why? Why wouldn't I share that? If I think there's a public health risk, if I think people eating these animals contracting pathogens, increasing violent crime rates in communities, creating drug addicts, alcoholics, why wouldn't I share that with the public? I mean, I did sign up as a public servant, so the very least I can do is share my experience and tell people what happened. They can do what they want with that, right? I'm not... Well, what do you mean? Like, well, bro, like, Grumpy Angels, how do we make the shift from stopping abusing animals and viewing them as commodities? Are we just supposed to shut up and allow them to be tortured on factory farms, and normalize violence in communities? Do you think we should have more alcoholics? Do you think we should have more drug heads? Do you think we should have more SA in the community? Because that's what happens around these communities. And there's data to support it. Go do a Google search. You don't have to take my word for it. These people, I mean, like, how ignorant can you be? Just because you were told it was something doesn't mean it is. And guys, if you don't mind, hit that like button, hit subscribe, tell your friends. We are, again, at St. Helens Meat Packers, where they exploit mother cows. They shoot them in the face. Sometimes they're still pregnant. Often they're still pregnant. So the farmer can get a little bit more money, and so can the company. And often, the babies are cut out right in front of the workers. The workers are a part of that. They see that. You don't think that fucks people up? Please. A lot of these farmers have never been on a kill floor, but they're certainly well endowed in their bank accounts, are they not? I mean, these people and these comments. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So again, yeah, I'm at St. Helens Slaughterhouse. It's in Toronto. They kill mother cows. They shoot them in the face. This is normalized violence, and we need to stop this. Yeah. Any actual real questions in the chat that I can respond to? Because I see a lot of dumb things being said. You worked in a factory farm for years. I work in farms. This guy worked. Andrew, so do you think? Oh, we got a truck coming in, guys. Thanks. Soy Daddy, thank you. The thing you can't get from here is the smell. You can't even imagine the smell. You saw the feces. These animals are literally scared shitless. They're scared so much they shit all over the truck. Pretty sad, right? Pretty sad. Are you, Flying Taco, are you saying that we shouldn't have freedom of expression? Are you saying that we shouldn't have, we shouldn't allow people to speak up about what they want? Because you're free to move to a country yourself, right? You're free to move wherever you want that doesn't allow freedom of speech. And in fact, if you aren't for freedom of speech, I can just ditch you from the channel, right? Is that the kind of world you want to live in? Well, I'm allowing you to speak there, Turkey. Am I not? You're on my platform here, right? You're speaking. So I've given you the opportunity to voice your concerns. Well, Mitchell, if I trust Soy Daddy's judgment, if someone's trolling and if they're being disingenuous, they're not being honest. If they're not being honest, then I trust his judgment. I mean, what's a huge mistake? So they're cows, they're mother cows. So oftentimes these drivers will drive very quick if there's something going on. So I'm almost positive there's probably a few downed cows in there, which supposedly is illegal in Canada. But all that ever really happens when there's a down cow is there might be a report about it. There might be a talk to the worker. The worker might say, oh yeah, someone cut in front of me or something like that. So there'll be all these different excuses as to why. And then, yeah, they just don't really want people to see the conditions of the cows. They don't want people to make the connection with the cows. So that's a good question, Axel. Thank you. Yeah, so definitely I've seen cows. Actually, what really, like, I know it's weird to say. So I worked in slaughterhouses for about 6 years. I had to leave because of respiratory issues. And they put me in processing, but when I worked in an investigation unit for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, so in animal health, the files of these non-compliances, so-called non-compliances, or potential cases that were going to court would come onto my desk, and I would review them just to make sure that the inspector's notes were complete, they had the photographs and pictures, and the dictations were there. Because if they're going to court, you have to have like a certain degree of, like these companies have lawyers, right? So the CFIA or the government, they're not going to spend so much money on these cases. So there has to be a certain level of like a degree of like this case being, worth it to go to court or something. And so one case in particular, I just remember it was hard to like make out, and I've told this story before, but there was it appeared to be some eyes or maybe not some eyes, sorry, like a head. And sorry, I just gotta watch out here. Are you watching the cars? Yeah. Let's move over here because this guy's coming, so I don't trust these guys. So, sorry, what I saw was we can go here. A mother cow right beside her her calf that she gave birth to, obviously on the truck. And this poor cow, her head was crushed in, and so was the baby's. So it was clear that she gave birth on the truck and she was trampled upon. Her skull was like smashed in, and so was the baby's. Like, I couldn't make it out if like somebody had done that, but I don't think, like, no matter how much farmers beat their animals, that they could have done that. So yeah, it really fucked me up seeing that. I still can't unsee it. They were like covered in shit. That's why it was so hard to make out who they were, and then reading the description and seeing them. Yeah, man, like, it was the most horrific thing, I think. Even seeing live slaughter, I guess because you have to turn yourself off. You have to normalize the violence and normalize it. When I saw that picture years later, it just brought back everything I had witnessed in the slaughterhouses, everything I'd seen, and oh my gosh, it was just horrific. And yeah, so that's when I was like, I confided in my partner at the time, and I said, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And so I stopped. I stopped eating animals. I didn't know what vegan was at the time. Certainly didn't know that, like, I honestly thought like I was going to be lacking something, or I was scared or something. I couldn't be further from the truth. Like, I quite literally, my childhood asthma, once I went vegan, went away. I was in shock. My energy levels went up. I just, like, so many things changed on the health front. And I know that's anecdotal. I'm not saying that could happen for everyone, but I've talked to a lot of people, their asthma went away. So it's crazy to think that type of change could happen. And then the more I realized, I was like, I have this story, I have this thing to tell. And so yeah, that's why I'm here today, years later, 12 years later. That's why I'm here today. Getting trolled by farmers and shit, getting trolled by people that think violence is cool. So, and I get a lot of people might have their sorry, just 1 second. No, I just worry about you going back and forth. I don't want someone driving like a maniac. I know. Well, I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm retired, real MTV addict. So why would I get a job if I'm retired? Doesn't make sense.
I crossed the I know.
I know. I just, like, it worries me. That's all.
Don't worry about it.
I have to. I'm sorry. That's just me. Sorry for that pause, guys. So yeah, once again, we're at St. Helens Meat Packers. If you wouldn't mind hitting like, hit subscribe, tell your friends. There are a bunch of us who are fed up with this system. A bunch of us that are fed up with the fact that we are normalizing violence in our communities. We're consuming violence and acting like that's okay. It's not. It's time to move away from this disgusting industry that destroys families, that destroys animals, that destroys everything, quite literally. We live in a violent world because we consume violence. It's disgusting. The smell here is abhorrent. This is right beside a community of houses where children play. How shameful is that? How disgusting is that? Ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. So that's why I'm out here. That's why a number of us are out here speaking up against this disgusting place, along with many other disgusting places like this around the world. And we're going to put a stop to it. One day, this is all going to be looked back upon as the worst time in humanity, and how we abused and tortured and confined and commodified individuals, all for our fucking taste pleasure. when you can literally, quite literally, get the same pleasure by eating plant-based. It's disgusting. Yeah, well, pro fact, how many animals, do you know how many animals are killed? And every 3 weeks, do you know how many animals are killed? The amount of humans that have ever lived. So yeah, I would say it's the worst, by far. Do they use comfortable water to clean the cows? Yeah, no, Axel, so there could be a station where maybe they spray them down, but I doubt it. Basically what happens is they go in, they'll go into a little chute area, they'll go up this ramp, they'll get shot in the face, sometimes multiple times. In fact, often multiple times. There'll be a chain attached to their leg. They'll get strung upside down. Their neck will be chopped up with a machete multiple times. Blood will go everywhere. And then they'll go around a line where something grabs onto their so-called hide, I call it skin. And it'll decapitate the rest of their head. It'll rip the skin off their face. And then their body will be cut down the middle. Their guts will fall into a conveyor belt. And sometimes there will be a baby in there as well. Lovely, isn't it? And so, yeah, all of this for what? For someone's trivial pleasure. Like, you know how I described it and somebody says that's yummy? That just shows where their mindset is, right? That just shows where they are mentally. Not really there, right? Often, again, a lot of people in the stream, you know, a lot of them are probably people that aren't sure. Maybe they're unclear. We're not trying to fight them. We're just trying to say, look, you don't have to be a part of this, and we can provide solutions and teach you how to get away from it. So I wasn't vegan. I wasn't born vegan. I worked in slaughterhouses. A lot of people that I know worked in the industry that are now vegan. Even lead investigators, farmers. If you look at Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, she's a former Texas rancher. Now she's helping farmers transition as well. So many sanctuaries, so many people have changed. Hunters have dropped the weapons. That thrill of the kill is gone. And if you guys want to take a look at the 3-minute movie challenge below in the description, you can see for yourself how the industry works, and then you can see what you can do about it. So again, I changed. I think a lot of people can change, and it just takes accountability. It takes dropping the ego and accountability. That's really it. The food's spot on. You know, you can get your gains as far as exercise. Like someone was saying to me, you need to be like, I'm tall. I can't get whatever. Zdeno Chara, ex-NHL hockey player, a Hall of Famer recently, 6'9", he's plant-based. So, I mean, if someone who's 6'9" can be plant-based, clearly most of you can. Open up your eyes and be the same. I mean, it's very simple. We can all live vegan, actually. Again, we just need to drop our egos. Well, Chadalick, have you been inside a slaughterhouse? How about you go inside one of them? You can see what it's like. I guarantee most of the people as well haven't been inside a slaughterhouse. So again, back to the people that are open-minded. The comments you see here are definitely people, a lot of people have taken lives, and they're just trying to derail the conversation because they don't want to accept accountability. They're afraid to accept accountability because they might, you know, have to admit that they've been wrong, that they've done awful things to animals. For example, if you go on a pig farm, oh my gosh, just go look inside the dumpsters. Go out to the farmers' ranches, go look outside in the dumpsters, and you're gonna see animals all over the place. Even some of these farmers, they just don't even give a shit. They just leave the animals to rot outside after they smash their heads on the ground. Instead of getting them veterinary care, because supposedly farmers care about the animals, they'll either shoot them in the face, hit them with a rod, or slam their heads against the ground. It's no holds barred because nobody goes and monitors these things. Inspectors don't certainly go on farms unless if they're called upon, or maybe they do an audit, but it's announced. It's always announced. So, I mean, you're basically allowing the fox to guard the hen house. And that's what happens. A lot of these farmers too, maybe some think they have good intentions, but they'll protect psychopaths that they know are harming. I was talking to one farmer who's too scared to tell on his neighbor farmer, because if he tells on him, he's worried that he's going to come after him. And so he says he hears the cries of cows every night. And he's like, this person is doing awful things, but this farmer won't tell me where this farm is because he's scared that he's going to be attacked. Crazy, right? So there's a lot of layers to this. And most of the time, people will only see the end product. They'll even call individuals meat. They'll even call them meat or pork or all these things. How's it propaganda, the big city? How many years did you spend in agriculture? Well, I bet you I spent just the same amount of time, or maybe even a little bit less, but I've definitely been on more farms than you and in more slaughterhouses than you. So how's this propaganda? I'm an ex-CFIA inspector, Canadian Food Inspection Agency inspector, and I'm just sharing my perspective. You can talk about propaganda all you want, but how's it propaganda when I share my firsthand experience? Then protest the process, not the people eating meat. Well, no, that's not how things change, Melancholy. That's not how things change at all. We have people protesting the process. We have animal justice. We have several groups working in policy or trying to work in policy. The thing is, this industry is so large and they make so much. I mean, they kill 92 billion land animals a year. They're making huge profits. They're exploiting workers. They're exploiting innocent animals. And then they make laws that try to silence whistleblowers, like Bill 156, for example, that was recently repealed, that spent copious amounts of taxpayers' dollars just to try to fend off animal rights activists for a few years. And so we won our case, and guess what? In 2 years, they're gonna do the same thing. They're not held accountable. Who's working in the agriculture? Who is the Minister of Agriculture? Well, they're cash crop farmers, they're farmers, they're people that are invested in creating laws that cut so-called red tape, which means not having inspection on their farms and allowing people just to do whatever the fuck they want to animals. And have you seen some of the things that happen on these small local farms, the disgusting mental cases that work in these places? You would not believe it. Even the worst horror show that you've ever seen is not as bad as what you've seen on some of these local farms. You can go see it yourself. I don't have to sit here and say that. Go to your local farms, go inside, don't tell anybody. Just go yourself and see it for yourself. In this big city, I guarantee you, he has animals on his farm. I guarantee you he's beaten an animal or two. It's pretty obvious with that statement, right? And all he's saying is propaganda bullshit, right? Because he doesn't want to be confronted. He doesn't want to talk about the truth. He doesn't want to accept responsibility because he's made blood money all these years. Look, I made blood money and now I'm coming to terms with it, and I feel like obligated to be out here to talk to everybody out in the streets to say, hey, what I did was wrong. And I'll never be able to atone, but I'm certainly going to try. I'm going to certainly try to be out here all the time as much as I can, just like all the wonderful activists inside the chat, like the Vegan Anthem. There's so many people out there that are wonderful, that are trying to create change and waking up hearts and minds. Same with you, Vegan Stoner Lady, Sabi. I mean, you guys are so great. No, halal is not way better. Halal is just a different way. And honestly, like, they still stun animals in halal. You hope ICE deports me. Well, I'm in Canada and I'm a Canadian citizen. I was born in Canada, so I don't know how that works, Dairy Dude. Guy, apparently Dairy Dude isn't for freedom of speech. Even probably in the United States, right? Like, Imagine these are the first people who cry about their First Amendment, Second Amendment, all their 14th Amendment, whatever it is. They cry about their rights. But then when someone challenges their beliefs, no, lock them up, kick them out, do whatever. It's insane, right? It's the same here. People are saying, well, Canada has freedom of expression. So it's pretty similar in the sense where I'm allowed to be on a public sidewalk and speak my piece. And a lot of people here are saying, no, we shouldn't. We shouldn't allow that. Crazy, right? But they're the first ones to cry about their rights being infringed upon, right? The hypocrisy, the irony. Yeah, someone crying when they want you to be deported. Exactly. It's like, so you want to not allow people to have free speech. Like, even if you're not an animal rights activist, or you're not somebody who condone or likes what I'm saying, you should at the very least say, hey, respect, man. You should be allowed to speak up for what you believe in, talk about your rights, your freedoms of expression, all these things. You should be at least for that, right? And it's not the world's people. Well, you should care about animal rights, but even more so, if you care about animal rights, there's no right way to do the wrong thing, right? We don't need to consume animals, shooting them in the face, taking their babies, confining them, genetically engineering them to make them freaking freak shows. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's, we had an event. It was the Toronto Blue Jays. They lost, right? But we went out to one of the events, one of the games, and we had this sign that said, "Why eat one and not the other?" And people were like, "Well, I wouldn't eat a blue jay because, well, they're too small. They're not the same size as chickens." Well, the reason those chickens are so big is because they've been genetically engineered. So I said, well, if they were genetically engineered in the same way, would you eat the blue jay? And people were like, gross. Like, make it make sense, right? All these animals are, maybe I'm closer to 60. Who's your why? Amazing. Yes, Paul, Johnny Vegan Seed, Peggy. I mean, so many great advocates in the chat. Guys, please do me a favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, hit that notification bell. And I want to thank the trolls today. I haven't thanked you really at all. But I want to thank the trolls for being here because, this channel's blown up. 2,500 subscribers. I only really started streaming in June. 2,500 subscribers. We're getting close to 1 million views. And a lot of that has to do with the trolls. So thank you so much for the engagement. Thank you so much for getting the eyes on here. Great job. Woo, yes, exactly. We want to thank the trolls because without the trolls, we probably wouldn't get to the views and to the masses like we do. So that's great. Thank you, trolls. And also, since I'm at a cow slaughterhouse where they slaughter innocent mother cows, they steal their babies away like a fucking monster. Can you imagine having your baby stolen? They steal them away, like right after they give birth. Like they drag them away like monsters, right? Steal them away so you can think you're a fucking baby cow, which you're not. I promise you, you weren't born a cow. But that's what they do. So if you can't get off the tit, if you can't get a replacement, I have an offer for you. I'm gonna send you a sucky or a dummy or a pacifier, whatever the hell you call it. I will send you that today so you can get off the tit and realize that you're not a child anymore. I will also send you a blankie, and maybe, guys, you haven't heard this one before, a bonnet, a little bonnet to put around your head, so that way you guys can feel, like a little baby, a little child again. That's a once in a lifetime offer, guys. I will do that for you. Hello. They kill mother cows here. They shoot them in the head. That's why I'm here. So yeah, once in a lifetime offer, guys. Marlene, are you saying that's what you want? Are you still on the tit, Marlene? Marlene. Yeah. Watch, he's moving there. My name isn't Karen. My name's David. Marlene. Why are you so upset, Marlene? Burgers are good. No, they're mother cows, by the way. So maybe just leave them alone, Marlene. And maybe stop, you know, being a monster to animals. I mean, it's things we learn, right? It's like there's some drama going on over there. Where's that? The cows. Guy yelling at cows. Yep. Do you always hit cows? You guys see that? Normalize violence. Yelling at the poor cows and hitting them with that. I don't know if you guys saw that, but standard industry practice, right? You can just yell at the poor cows that have had to travel for how long? And then you start beating them, and I can hear him again. He's doing it again. Well, where are you going, bro? So he's in the truck and he's yelling at the cows. Can't see it. After that huge journey they went through, right? Now he's on the truck yelling at them. People just fly around here like crazy. That's what I'm worried about. One of these guys gets triggered, loses their mind. Like I was just yelled at down there by a guy in a truck. So I definitely don't trust these guys. So just as a reminder, if you're out at slaughterhouses, keep your head on a swivel. I recommend being with other people, and I don't lie. What am I gonna lie about, Paul? There's no point in lying, just telling the truth. But the things I saw, so this guy, another truck? Oh, a baby truck. Mid-size. So we got another truck coming, guys. Just leave that there.
No, man.
I'm allowed to be right here.
Go that way. You're disturbing the.
No, I'm not disturbing anything. Don't touch me. I'm so sorry, baby. You don't deserve this. I've been here dozens of times. I know what I'm doing. What's your problem? Are you threatening me? This guy said he's gonna run over us someday. And then, so this security guard heard him threaten me, just so you know. And the security guard also got in my way here when I'm allowed to be here, just so everyone's very clear. And this is documented. This company continues to go outside of their ability and and forcing me not to be able to express my fundamental freedoms of expression. This is a right in Canada. We're allowed to express ourselves. We're allowed to show what we want. I'm not disturbing anybody. I'm simply walking on the sidewalk and showing the truth about what's taking place. And this employee is telling me I'm not allowed to be on a sidewalk, which is wrong, I'm not disturbing anybody. What about the cows, bro? The guy who was hitting the cows, yelling at them, screaming them after their journey, right? So I'm just making everybody aware, well aware. And it's funny because the same people that are freaking out here are the people that are first talking about freedoms of expression, the charter, the constitution, all these things that allow these countries to be so-called democracies. They don't want you to. Sidewalk. This is a sidewalk. Even here, I'm allowed to be, right? This is a sidewalk. Do you see the sidewalk? That's where I was walking. Same people who want your freedoms of expression, your freedom of rights, are the ones saying that you shouldn't do that. Amazing. And then the worker, the driver, threatening me, saying, we're gonna run you over someday. Like they already did. They killed Regan Russell, a guy who sat at a stoplight for 5 minutes staring at her and ran her over. And then got a fine for it. And he made money off of it as well, but he can think that he's resting assured that that justice isn't coming. Well, justice is coming, by the way. Justice will be coming, and yeah, we're going to show the world exactly the truth about what happened with Regan Russell, how it was covered up, and you're going to see it. I can't give away too many details, but there's a lot of information coming out. And if you want to know a little bit more, there's a video called There Was a Killing. You can see what happened there. Then also, if you want to check out the Toronto Star, they exposed the phone call, the 911 phone call that was not shown in court, of Andrew Blake's phone call to the police. Imagine that, the 911 phone call from the truck driver minutes before he killed Regan Russell was not presented in court. And people think, oh no, this industry has nothing to hide. This was one day after an ag-gag bill, a bill set to silence whistleblowing in Canada, was enacted. Go figure. You think this is a job, Sparrow? You think people turning to drugs and alcohol and violent crime and workplace injuries and contracting pathogens is a job? That's not a job for anybody. It's an abomination. What if that's your sister, your brother, your mother who contracts a pathogen and then they develop a cyst in their spine like I did? What if they can't walk anymore? What if their kidneys are fucked up? What if they contract tuberculosis or salmonella? And they fuck up their whole life just for working inside of one of these places. Do you think, Sparrow, do you think that you would want that to happen to your family, your friends, your community? Do you think increased violent crime rates right over here, you think that's a good thing for society? Sparrow, is that what you want? You think that's what we should be aiming for in society? Do you think pandemics are a good thing, Sparrow? Do you think that having avian influenza kill a child or almost kill a child in British Columbia is good? Or that there's a 50% death rate when humans are contracting avian influenza? Do you think that's a good thing, Sparrow? Is that what you want for society? You want more of these death trucks? Is that what you want? I'm retired, by the way. So people talking about jobs, I'm retired. You want me to go to work. So Peter's saying, yes, this is a good thing. We should have more violent crime rate. We should have more alcoholics and more drug heads. That makes a lot of sense, right? And see, guys, the rational people, the normal people, just watching along, thinking, well, do I really want to side with somebody who thinks it's okay to have children that are trafficked into slaughterhouses, migrants to be trafficked to work in slaughterhouses, to have immigrants, refugees to do all these jobs? Yes, this is in Toronto. No, I don't think that should happen. And it's funny because someone like Sparrow won't work on a slaughterhouse kill floor, but he'll use proxies. He'll use immigrants, refugees, racialized people that are stuck in a system that exploits them as well. So these aren't jobs. I'm trying to eliminate this. And so are so many other activists in the chat, even you can see, like Lenny Bruce, for example, been an activist for, I don't even know how many years, doing great work for the animals. There's so many of them out there. No injustice lasts forever, and that's a perfect name because it's true. No injustice, this injustice will not last forever. You can either join it now, or you can be looked upon in history as someone who condoned these trucks, these Holocaust trucks. Look at them. They're Holocaust trucks for innocent animals that did nothing to you. You don't even know their name, and you're shitting them out. You don't even know their name. How sad is that? You do that, just ice. Why don't you buy 100 and choke on them? I'm just kidding. I wouldn't want that to happen to you. But they're mother cows, by the way. Just so you know, when you pick up that patty, there's probably about 100 individuals inside that patty. 100 of their DNA strands are in that patty. And guess what? When I used to test the burgers and stuff, the amount of E. coli, that means feces, that means shit that's in them. Like, yeah, that's why they recommend cooking the animal flesh, is because there's so much shit, parasites, pathogens inside of the patties that you eat. So happy eating. I hope when you bite into that you realize that you're ingesting and you have the potential risk to contract E. coli or salmonella or campylobacter or listeria. Yeah, they don't have names, which is sad. They're given numbers. These death trucks. Insane. Great job. 4 years vegan. I'm vegan 12 years. Guys, how long have you been vegan? In the chat, let's hear how long you've been vegan for. I have friends 35 years. I have friends who are born vegan. I mean, it's very simple to live vegan. It's just, the only thing is you just drop the ego, really. Yeah, they're death trucks. So they essentially bring animals, innocent animals, from as far as Alberta. So this is Toronto. If you go on your maps, look at the border of Alberta, okay? And see how far these animals have to travel. That's just at the border. That's not even including inside Alberta when they actually grab the cows. They transport them all the way here just to be shot in the face. Sometimes they're still pregnant. Can you imagine that? Pregnant cows having to travel all that way, sometimes giving birth on the truck, and then ultimately being shot in the face, sometimes multiple times, just so you can get some pleasure eating their body parts. It's just the weirdest thing. So Andrew, clearly serial killer, hates turkeys. And Andrew, I highly recommend you watch the video What Killing Animals Does to Your Brain. You can see to the point where maybe you lost empathy, you moved to apathy, and now it truly sounds like you're a psychopath to take that many lives. So you can see the feces on the truck, the shit that's covered all over this truck, this death truck, diarrhea from scared mother cows who are ultimately being shot in the face. And this driver in particular was yelling at them, sticking them freaking them out. But they care. They care. Cows are like, you know, the thing that I've heard again recently is that farmers treat cows better than humans are treated. Yeah, that death truck said it all, did it not? Steve, no. He says it's a captive bolt gun. Steve, I work for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency 15 years. I've been in plenty of slaughterhouses to know that their failure rates, and not all skulls are the same size. So are you saying, Steve, are you saying that it only takes one shot? No. And are you saying that these animals aren't still conscious after they get shot in the face? No. You'll see them freaking out on a line. You'll see the blood splattering. You'll see even when they're being jabbed in the neck, they're still squirming around. So no, bro, why don't you go visit a slaughterhouse kill floor and you can see it for yourself. Do I eat premature carrot babies? Corey, I hope you're setting up a carrot rights activist event. Let me know the details. We'll all come and join you for the carrot rights activist event, because we know that baby carrots suffer, I guess, apparently. Solution, Lauren, this is the question I want. So you can go to Challenge 22. They'll give you plant-based diet meal plans. They'll put you in a WhatsApp group. They'll take your email, and you'll be with people like yourself who want to change. And then also they'll give you a free dietitian if you want, and they'll talk to you about some things that you might be concerned about or anything like that. They'll answer any question. It's great. No, plant-based is not gross. 12 years. I couldn't imagine eating a rotten corpse anymore. Rigor mortis setting in, the chemicals they spray on them, the shelf life and stuff like that. That's fucking mad. Andrew, do I know how many animals? Well, Andrew, if I thought you actually cared about animals, you said you sent 6 million turkeys to their death. So I don't think you even understand what you're talking about. Math though, bro, it's kind of a weird thing to say that you care about crop deaths. Vegans recognize there's going to be death, just like driving a car. You can't always guarantee that everyone's going to be safe. Do you presuppose we should stop people from driving now? But by the way, if you actually believe that more animals are killed in crop production, then who eats more? The animals, the 92 billion land animals that you feed, and the factory farm fish that you feed? Who eats more? The 92 billion? Or if you didn't farm and feed them, if we could just eat the plants directly. So there's something called Our World in Data. They provide all the stats. If we move to a fully plant-based system today, we could reduce our consumption of everything really by almost, 75%. So currently we farm 83% of our land is gone to agricultural farming. We could reduce that to like 20%, 25%. We could feed double the population is what I'm getting at. Pretty close to it. So Peter, sorry if I missed your question. Yeah, ask away. You don't have to ask if you can ask a question, just ask away. I know you don't care, Andrew. So like, and you say you're a farmer and you're talking about crop deaths. Wow, that's hilarious. Because most farmers I talk to, if I bring up the crop deaths, they kind of laugh at it. They know it's a joke. It's a joke in the farming community, crop deaths, because they know it's not a real thing. You might have some animals once in a while, but it's not a real thing. And honestly, vegans just want veganic farming, vertical farming, and precision fermentation, and that will be the future. So that's what we're looking forward to. Yeah, well, if we didn't spray, oh my God, I forget the stat. Oh, I should have brought the stat. But if we didn't spray all that feces, if we had veganic, like, fertilizer, we wouldn't need the chemicals that we use, right? So basically you're spraying shit into fields and you're destroying the land with the shit. Think about it. If you had a plant-based fertilizing production, we wouldn't need all the stupid chemicals that you're talking about. Masterpiece. I wouldn't. No, I don't. I wouldn't eat lab. I've lost my appetite for like flesh. I think that would kind of just really gross me out. But I do see value in it if it's gonna take animals out of here and that truck. Of course, I see value in it. Good question, Andrew. So where would all the animals go? Well, we breed 92 billion land animals every single year into existence. So we don't need to breed that many animals into existence. Most of the animals are just 42 days, maybe 4 to 6 weeks old when you eat them. So if you stop breeding them into existence, that would take care of much of the problem. We would have sanctuaries. If people actually cared about animals, we'd have a number of sanctuaries. It's not going to change overnight, though, but we can. Well, I don't really, to be honest, Peter, I don't really care if we evolved from eating plants or if we evolved from eating animal products or both. Fact is, today we're here, right? We're on a device that we would have never been on, however long ago. So we evolve is what I'm getting at. We don't need to be part of this system anymore. And it's so detrimental to the animals. I mean, if you look into the psychology of taking lives and what it does to people's brains, it messes them up, right? A lot of people get messed up. They don't even know it oftentimes. I didn't know it. I never thought that I had issues from seeing what I did. And I saw a lot of violence. I was going to get into a story today. I was thinking about telling it. It's something that haunts me. It sits with me all the time. So it was back in I think it was 2005 or 2004 or something like that. And it was a really hot day. It was, I don't know if you can do the conversion, but it was 33C in Canada. Felt like 42 or 43, something like that, mid-afternoon. And so I just knew driving into work that I was going to have to collect a lot of dead bodies that day. That was part of my job, was to collect samples of chickens. So I would have to collect 10 samples, 10 bodies, and put them in a garbage bag, bring them to an area where a vet cut them open in front of me to try to give them an autopsy, necropsy they call it, to determine their cause of death. And so, as I'm telling this, there's this big tractor coming my way. So that particular day, and several other days were like it. It's just that one is the one that stands out because there was more. I got a call from the live receiving area where they hang the birds. And my role was, 91 Fahrenheit. Where they have, sorry. I don't get these guys. They drive on the sidewalk to intimidate. I swear to God they do that. So it was 91. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, PM. And I get the phone call, come downstairs. We have a lot of dead birds. I go downstairs and I'm pretty sure it was 98% of the birds were dead. So they were all just dead. They all had heart attacks because of the heat, basically. And so if you can imagine, 20,000, I think it was 24,000 in total, bodies all over the ground, everywhere. And you had workers literally stepping on the birds, looking for birds that were still alive just to hang them on the line so that they could be killed. And my role was to pick up dead bodies and bring them to the vet area. And it was just so chaotic. seeing all those piles of the dead bodies, it just really stuck with me. It still does. Thank you, Newman. Well, all of us can't be as bright as you. No, John, not crying, just sharing the truth. I don't know what's wrong with sharing the truth, right? Legally, we're allowed to share the truth. It's my fundamental freedoms of expression. What's the problem with that? Do you believe in freedom of expression? Do you believe in the Charter? It's the same guy who came out and yelled at me. So the workers getting in my way. Don't talk to me. I'm not touching the truck. I'm not touching the truck. Stop messing with me. You assaulted me before. You brought your car against me before. Don't worry, there will be a reckoning, buddy. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I've already talked to my lawyers. You're gonna have fun with that. Trying to intimidate me with your car. It's on film, buddy. You're gonna see. So you see this guy got in my way again, trying to intimidate me as usual. But I have talked to the legal team that I have, and yeah, if you didn't see, or maybe you don't know, he drove his car right here. So I was standing here like this, not paying attention to him because I thought he was actually driving by, because I saw him get in a vehicle, and the vehicle brought him to his car, and I saw him get in his car down here where I started the stream. And as I was standing here, all of a sudden I heard this car like screech, and I heard the ground when you hear the rocks. Well, he brought his car so close up to me, and then then he turned his wheels towards me. So I went up to the fence because I thought he was coming towards me, and then he backed up and parked over here. Guess what? That's on camera. And so people like him trying to intimidate me because they have a little bit of power and they think that they're doing something, but they're not. So yeah, he's gonna learn what justice is. You can't use your vehicle to intimidate people. No, he didn't hit me. But if I don't stop that now, who knows what he could be up to. If you look back on my stream, somebody came up to me and physically hit me, grabbed my phone, or tried to grab my phone and hit me. Tried to swipe another activist's phone. Actually, this worker, the one just here as well, he knocked down one of my activist friends' phone, and he actually saw the worker grabbing a phone and pretended he was on his phone as if he didn't see it. So I look malnourished. Yes, thank you. What would you recommend? Can you see like through my skin, and can you see my blood work through the phone? Amazing. People are amazing. 40-year-old loser. I'm just kidding, trolling. Yes, that's okay. We have trolls. It happens. They do definitely come out to the slaughterhouse land. Thank you for being here, by the way. Malnourished like a boss. Thank you. Yeah. So this is in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's a place called St. Helens. Emphasis on the hell. It's the most disgusting street in Toronto, maybe Canada. They have something called a tannery down the street, which I was yelled at earlier for simply putting my camera into the tannery on the sidewalk, like where I am now. And then we're showing the slaughterhouse, and we're letting know that there's a community of houses right here, and that slaughterhouses create more violent crime. They create drug addicts, they create alcoholics, and by the violent crime I mean more sexual assault that takes place. And so like these big burly men who say eat a burger, or they think they're strong or something, or spamming burger, they clearly don't care about women, because they're supporting more violent sexual crime rates in these communities. Real manly, yeah, real manly. So that's what's happening. Yeah, so leather, what I meant by tannery is a leather factory down here. The last time I was there, the guy actually splashed, my friend Mary caught that, splashed the chemicals at me. So like very violent, right? Very violent, just for holding a camera up here. Just like you saw when I went up to the truck, this guy got in front of me to try to stop me and try to intimidate me, just like he did with his car. And so you're gonna find this. You're gonna find this at all these slaughterhouses. The other thing I forgot to mention is like, there's constantly birds around here, because what they do is in this area here, they dump the body parts that aren't considered, how do you say, edible for human consumption, they say? That's what they say. I don't think any of it is, but that's what they say. So that's all the cancers, the contaminated flesh. So those will go to the rendering facility, but the birds will be grabbing the body parts and they fly them around. And if you walked all around here, you're gonna see body parts, sometimes like skin or these bones. And you can even go to the community park across the street here, and you'll see that there's a bunch of other birds around, and they're all fighting for the contaminated body parts, the cancers and stuff like that. And so they have like a soccer community over here, like a playground, and there's children that will go play in that area. But if you look around, there's shit everywhere. There's feces everywhere, because all these birds are vying for the contaminated animal parts. And people wonder, how do pandemics start, or how do people just get sick and stuff like that? Can you imagine too, the Toronto Public Health comes here, they test the water all the time. I'm not saying for sure, but like the houses are there, are they drinking out of the same system? I don't know. I'm not a professional in that sense, but it's kind of curious, right? So we have a slaughterhouse in a community, and these are all the human-centric ideas. The real reason I'm here is because I don't think mother cows should be shot in the face. I don't think we're baby cows, and I don't think we should eat animals. We shouldn't look at them as commodities. We shouldn't exploit them. None of that. That's why I'm here. But, well, I mean, research. You can go to the link in my description and check out the 3-minute movie challenge, and you can see standard industry practice. But this is what happens as a result of a slaughterhouse, right? And so the other part of that is you're confining innocent animals, you're stealing their babies, you're forcefully impregnating them. Can you imagine being forced to be pregnant? Forced to be pregnant, you know, your entire life, and then being shot in the face and eaten up, or maybe just thrown in a dumpster. Like often sows will be just thrown and discarded in a dumpster because they've already given their babies, and it's just too much hassle for someone to bring them to a slaughterhouse. So why not just shoot them in the face and throw them in a dumpster? Like garbage. All for your bacon. A class 1 carcinogen, by the way. And what's also curious is that people feed their children bacon, parasitic bacon. These pigs live in their filth their entire lives. They all get respiratory infections. They're given copious amounts of antibiotics, and they're weaned off the antibiotics like 6 to 8 weeks before they're sent to slaughter. That's fucking mad. And people are feeding that shit to their children. Would you give your children cigarettes? Would you be like, here, kids, here's a smoke, go smoke away? No, you wouldn't. Would you put your kids in an ammonia-filled shed? Would you? No, I don't think you would, right? So why are you doing that with your kids? Why would you do that to your kids? Why are you creating an environment that spreads pandemics like avian influenza, mad cow disease, all these freaking things, like exactly swine flu? Like we're literally playing with fire, and people are, you know, they're even trying to get vaccines for the animals to cure them of avian influenza so they can eat them. Think about that. When you could literally just eat plant-based. Oh my God, seriously, I'm retired. So do you think everybody who's retired should work? Well, exactly, Dean. I am right. Thank you. Well, no, there's another choice. Guy's saying abort the kids. No, Newman, 12 years vegan. There's 150 million vegans in the world. It's growing. Plant-based options are growing. You don't have to take your life. The taste pleasure is you can get the taste pleasure. I promise you. Come to my place. I'll have you over for dinner. We'll make a great meal, and then I'll embarrass you about how stupid you are for you thinking that you should commodify innocent animals. Like, you wouldn't set a dog on fire, right? If you wouldn't set a dog on fire, why would you put a mother cow to be shot in the face and have her baby stolen and all these things? I mean, these aren't hard concepts, guys. You learn them as children. And that's why a lot of children will be honest when they say, no, I don't want to be a part of this. I talked to a guy yesterday. So he's a farmer in Portugal. And he talks about how he can't stop what he's doing because economic reasons or whatever. And I asked him, well, what happens if like avian influenza came in and wiped out all the animals? He's like, well, that already happened. I'm like, well, then how come you're here? Where's my beard? I shaved. Well, how come you're still alive then if you couldn't survive and all your animals were wiped out? He's like, well, no. So like, farmers know that they can plant something else. They're scared to change, and I can understand there's a little hesitancy to change. But we know better now, and there are places that you can reach out. That's what we're doing. And no, Persian version? No, like, what's the lack of protein? Find somebody who's lacking protein. Tag them in the chat, because I've not met anybody who's lacking protein. I mean, if you don't eat enough calories, then you don't eat enough calories. AT, I used to have a big beard. What are you talking about? Was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I just didn't like, I didn't like it. AT, just because I don't have a beard, so, are you saying women? Why do you want me to grow out a beard? What does it have to do with anything? Mary's laughing at these, right? Transitioning. If that's what you're doing, no, I'm not a woman. Hey, AT, since you're such a manly guy, why don't you come up to Canada, bro? We'll get on some skates. I'll skate backwards, you skate forwards, and let's see who wins. How about that? We'll see who's manly then. This fucking guy. Uh-oh. We got the cops coming in. They're coming in hot, guys. Hopefully not towards us. Woo!
god, that's disgusting.
Guys, here you go. So guys, look at here, right? So those are the skins of the mother cows, right? See all the birds flying here? They're gonna go take a bite out of that. This is Toronto. Disgusting. The mother cows who are fucking killed so people can wear their bodies. It's fucking weird, man. It's so sad. And the smell, holy shit. America first. That's he said, so America First says, no, we eat them, not abuse them. So America First, if you were treated like one of the animals, would you think that's abuse? So if you were in a factory, okay, like let's do for an example, you're one of those mother cows. Let's say someone stuck their arm in your anus and a dildo. They put a dildo in your ass, right? And they ejaculated you, or they ejaculated you off by hand. Some dude does that to you, right? Over and over and over, every day, all the time. And then at some point, you can't give as much semen, okay? Let's say that happens after 2 years. So then they decide, well, you're gonna go to slaughter, and they're just gonna confine you in a factory farm. You gotta live in your shit. So that's the other thing. You got to live in your feces. You got to sleep in your shit. Literally you shit and piss, and you got to live in that. Okay. So you live in that. And then after that, you go and you get your head shot a few times and your neck slit and your skin ripped off so someone can wear you. Are you saying that that's cool? You'd be okay with being replaced by that? Exactly, that's not cool, because that's exactly what happens to them, right? I agree. Real men do protect the innocent and the vulnerable. A lot of people here are bullies, right? Imagine having that mindset to bully innocent animals. I mean, it's sad. Like even if stupid comes. Even if you were against what we do, against who we are, like even in a welfarist mindset, I would think that you wouldn't say anything, right? I would think, like, why wouldn't you want vegans out there just to at least have some sort of better welfare standards? But the thing is, these people actually don't care about animals. They don't even view them on any level. They're the type of people that would probably kick their dog. They probably beat them up a little bit. And you don't see these things, right? But they definitely are. And so people talk about abortion, but they're eating pregnant mother cows. Literally, they're eating somebody who had their baby cut out of them on a kill floor, and they're talking about abortion. I mean, the mindset, right? The mindset. I ate extra meat in my breakfast, in your honor. ADB. Well, I mean, maybe your cholesterol will rise, maybe all-cause mortality will increase, and maybe that's going to be your life. Maybe you're going to be a total loser, animal abuser your entire life. I mean, not all of us are going to open up their empathy. Not all of us are going to drop their ego. I mean, it's people like you that that make the world a shitty place. It really is, right? Because you are supporting violence, you're supporting drug addicts, you're supporting alcoholics, increased violent crime rates. You're the type of person that just only cares about your gut and what you do, right? Hey, Chip Guy, awesome work, guys. If you don't know that Chip Guy, you must go subscribe to his channel. Just like a number of the other activists in this chat today, incredible. They're doing incredible work all over the world. But yeah, this guy, he talks about eating mothers as if it's a flex. Why don't you go on a slaughterhouse kill floor and maybe you can kill them too? Seems like you get off on it. Seems like it's your cup. Why don't you go slash them in the throat all day long and see how much you like it? "15 years, nice, Steven. It's great. I'm trying to catch up to you, so 12 years. There's no lying here. I'm an ex-slaughterhouse inspector, worked for the Canadian government 15 years, and I saw everything that you can imagine on these farms and in these kill floors and what do they call them? Real men respect animals, exactly. Not all of it is done by circular blades. And oftentimes, some heads aren't the same length. Oftentimes, the legs or wings will be broken. So they'll hang them just on one wing or hang them on one leg. And so they'll get cut on their body. Wake up. 30 years, Len. 30 years is cruelty-free. 30 years. And if you don't know Lenny Bruce, well, you should go subscribe to him because this guy climbs stairs and he's amazing. He could out. Where's that other guy that came in here was talking about beard? Why don't you go race Len up to the CN Tower and we'll see who's a real man. Len would destroy you, bro. And it's not only that. Real men like Len stand up for the animals, and he has been an activist for 30 years, fighting for animal rights. The reason why places like, what's it called, Canada Goose is dropping fur, and a number of other companies have dropped fur because of people like Len, and other people have changed their ways because of people like Len, and we're just following in his footsteps. So thank you, Len, for being out there all the time. Recently in New York, I believe. Yes, Patrick Brabumian, he's jacked. He was recently on a campus with allied scholars. He was lifting a keg of beer and he was challenging other people. And he was just lifting it over his head. Nobody could compete with him. Answer real questions about mass farming vegetables, soybeans, and cotton farms. Real men address all questions and learn from their mistakes. Clever the way you spelled steaks there, Bob. Bob, so, well, let's address what? What do you want to address? Soybeans? You know that most soy goes to factory farm fish and cows, right? And other animals, land animals chicken. So they're mostly going to those animals. So I don't know, like those are the animals you eat. So if you stop breeding into existence 92 billion land animals, and you take all that out of the equation, right? Bob, let's get real about crop deaths, okay? If you actually cared about crop deaths, you would be vegan, right? Because there would be less crop deaths. Like you take 92 billion out of the equation or you add that in, how much do those animals eat? 10 times the amount we eat. I mean, it's not really rocket science, Bob. You do this every time and you say the same question. I don't understand. Like, when are you going to understand it, Bob? Bob, when are you going to get it? Is it because you're still farming animals, Bob? Yes, that's why, right? And you don't care about crop deaths. You could care less about crop deaths. You're just trying to say that vegans are hypocrites when we want veganic farming. We want vertical farming. We want precision fermentation, or we want to work together to create a system that does not kill as many animals, and we're doing that. What are you doing, Bob? You're profiting off of these innocent animals on your farm, and you haven't dropped the ego. When you can easily change, Bob, you could change. It's very easy to change. You just have to drop the ego, and we can provide resources. We can provide you help. Become a sanctuary, Bob. Become a sanctuary. You'll be like the favorite person in the world. Rowdy Girl Sanctuary is a prime example of that. It's so simple to move away from violence. We don't need more violence in society. We already have a shitty enough world as it is, especially for the innocent animals that are stabbed, tortured, confined, brutalized, commodified. So simple to move away from. We just have to open up our empathy, drop the ego, and exactly, not be a bully to animals. Most people would never work in a slaughterhouse, but they use proxy immigrants, refugees, racialized people to work in these places, right? No, I'm just pointing out Bob's hypocrisy, one old man. Bob's the one who brought up the crop deaths, right? And who knows? People like Bob maybe need to be talked to a certain way, a different way. I've talked to farmers. Where's the animal's choice though, one old man? Where's the animal's choice? What about their choice? To not be shot in the face, to be commodified, to have their bodies sexually violated? Like, what about their choice? They don't have a choice, right? I'm not bullying anybody. Go into the slaughterhouse. I'm just talking, right? I'm just using words. Go into the slaughterhouse and see the mother cow shot in the face over and over and jabbed in the throat. That's bullying. Go to a factory farm and sit in their feces and urine, because that's what everyone wants to do, right? Just live in their feces and urine, right? That's bullying. Me talking to a camera is nothing. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere else or you can stay. I don't care. Zach, I think we aren't there yet to figure out what we could do with carnivorous animals. Maybe there's a future where there's lab-grown meat that's given to them. I'd imagine if they were satiated, they wouldn't go after other animals. No, wait. You either worked on farms or worked in slaughter. Which one? Because a lot of farmers will say, "Oh yeah, I worked in slaughter," when they've never even been on a kill floor. They've never seen what it's like. Dizel, there's lots to eat in Alaska. You don't have to eat animals, please. There's indigenous people that are vegan, so you don't have to make up excuses. Well, you should get right. Why would I? You can't morally talk. You can't talk to a lion about their morals. We don't base our morals on what lions do. So what does that have to do with your choice to be able to go in a grocery store and not buy violated animals? Bob, that has nothing to do with the chat. Exactly, Pia. Pia's spot on. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, Lynn. I just don't know if I could ever. I mean, if it stops this from happening, sure, but there's some ethical things beyond that too. Alex, you aren't no king. Do you think might makes right, Alex? Do you think the stronger should oppress the weaker? Exactly. Great responsibility. Yeah, sure. Sorry about that. So we are at St. Helens Slaughterhouse in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So this is a slaughterhouse where they kill mother cows and lambs. So I'm here to be a voice for the animals, to show that you can change, because I used to work in places like this. I'm an ex-slaughterhouse inspector. So I worked for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency for 15 and a half years. Saw things that I can't unsee, and definitely traumatized by that. But yeah, I changed my ways about 12 years ago. I didn't even know what vegan was when I went vegan, to be honest. I just knew I didn't want to be a part of this system because I saw so much awfulness. And one day I learned about veganism, and then I learned about animal rights, and then now I'm sharing my story. So we're in Toronto, Ontario, Canada again. And yeah, this place is disgusting. So I really would rather talk about animal rights, but I know sometimes people can't make that connection directly. So sometimes I'll talk about human rights. So the workers in here, mostly marginalized, immigrants, refugees, racialized individuals, migrants, and sometimes children are trafficked into slaughterhouses. And so like this is in a community as well. There's literally houses over here. Right there, you can see the top of their houses. And there's like a playground over here where kids are playing. And I was just saying earlier that the so-called contaminated body parts are dropped out of these chutes, driven to these facilities, these rendering facilities. But they're wide open, and all these birds come and they savage and feast on that. And they'll drop body parts all over around here. And you know, in that little playground area where they have a soccer field, kids are running around playing, there's feces everywhere. So that's from the birds that were here, because there's seagulls, there's I don't know if they're ravens or crows. Someone tried to explain what type of bird they were. Maybe I should find out. But they're eating the so-called contaminated body parts that you would never eat. And then even on top of that, and what I wanted to explain earlier was that these cancers, the contaminated so-called body parts, are going to a rendering facility. They're going to be heat treated, and then people are going to feed that shit to their dogs. So there's so many layers of exploitation happening here. Down the street, there's a tannery, a leather facility. So earlier I was filming the skins driving by. So these workers are working in this place with these chemical baths where the skins are around. And one old man, what's not true? So, and you can't lie, actually. I was just going to say, you can't lie about working for the government or having to have worked for the government in Canada and the US, I think in the UK as well, probably Australia, many other places, probably even in Europe. You can't say that you were a government worker or claim that you were, because that's illegal. So 15 and a half years. Are you out? Yeah. Give me 10? Yeah? Yeah. All right. Mary's just staring at me here. So yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everyone. So I forget what I was saying there. Why are my priorities screwed up? I don't want more violent crime rates. I don't want more alcoholics. I don't want more drug addicts or dealers. I don't want animals to be abused and slaughtered, and us to normalize violence. No, Marissa, if you want to have a debate about this, my friend, that chip guy, he'll gladly have a conversation with you about God and your beliefs. But by the way, it's still no audio? Can you guys hear me or no? Okay, thanks, Adam. Go follow Adam as well, please. Yeah, so I don't want those things in my society. I don't think we should have people that suffer PTSD and trauma for taking lives all day. Marissa, why don't you go work on the kill floor instead of using proxies, immigrants, refugees? Why don't you go work on the kill floor and suffer the mental conditions that they do? I don't think that's right. I don't think we should live in a violent society that thinks violence is okay, because it's not okay. And so like myself and many others are challenging this narrative that we should be consuming and confining and torturing innocent animals, or even viewing them as commodities. We don't believe that. And we believe that most logical people will come to the same conclusion if you actually have a decent conversation about it. And you talk about God, and you say God would be for, are there slaughterhouses in heaven? Is there slaughterhouses in the Garden of Eden? I don't think so, right? And moreover, would that do unto others principle of your fellow friends, your fellow humans, your fellow whoever it is, why would you want them to turn to drugs, alcohol? Why would you create environments where sexual assault goes up? Why would you create that environment? Did God say, let's create these environments? No. He said, be kind to animals. And he also said, the Garden of Eden was the benevolent place, was it not? So why don't you move back to that? This is actually a test to all the Bible people out there, the Jesus and God lovers, that prove that he ate meat himself. There's something called Christspiracy. Go watch it. So Marissa, you're just avoiding all the things that I just mentioned, and you're just sticking to the same talking point. But yeah, exactly. The Garden of Eden, and it doesn't matter. With moral responsibility, with dominion comes responsibility. And we don't have to exploit others for just because you think you're going to take and cherry pick a verse out of whatever. These are tests that your God has given you, has he not? And right now, if you're eating animals, you're failing that test. You're failing that test completely, because you're doing unto others, you're making others suffer trauma for your sickening taste pleasure. That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. Imagine saying raising animals responsibly, and looking at this death truck, this Holocaust truck, and saying that you're doing something responsible. No, it's not responsible. You're actually taking the life of innocent sentient beings who suffered because of your inconvenience, your taste pleasure. Your convenience and your taste pleasure. For what? You don't have to be a part of that. Thank you, Marissa. I think you don't have an argument back, so that's all you have to say. You have issues. How did Marissa own me by saying I have issues? Marissa, why don't you go in the Discord and debate us and talk about this? I'll guarantee you, I guarantee you'll have a different perspective after you go in the Discord and talk to us. Mac and Sleeve, how am I coping? I'm showing the truth. If that doesn't sit well with you, then that's on you. Exactly, Lisa. Well, you had a mother cow. It's funny how people just call them by meat or steak. They can't even call them individuals. They've never even looked them in the eyes. Imagine that, thinking you're somehow tough or cool or something, when you actually exploit an individual and then you eat their body parts, and you haven't even seen that. You have never even met your victims. It's crazy. All right, guys. Well, guys, I just want to say thank you to all the amazing vegans in the chat for being here, for always having my back, always having my support. The Bible says to be kind to animals. So, guys, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification. We're going to be live once again very shortly. If you guys didn't know, there's something called Project Livestream. That's going to happen a week from now, where we're going to have so many activists out at so many slaughterhouse facilities, and we're all going to be live right on YouTube all across the world. If you want to get involved, go to @MelAndSteve on Instagram and join our chat. We're going to get you the 50 subs that you need to go live. And yeah, guys, it's simple. We get out here, we talk about the animals, bring a group with you. You can join a group probably around your neighborhood, and we get out there for the animals, guys. Live kind, be kind to all the animals. We do not have to eat it. We don't have to confine them. We don't have to torture them. We don't have to view them as commodities. We can unlearn and evolve, like my shirt says. So thank you very much. We'll see you around next time. And one other thing, I think that Chip guy does this. He says the first comment after the stream, he's going to give a shout out to. So I'm going to try to do the same thing. So whoever comments after the stream first, I'm going to give a shout out to my next stream. So again, thank you so much for being here. Live vegan. It's simple. Go to challenge22.com or go to the link in the description and watch the 3-minute movie challenge. It's simple. Just take a quick look at it. 3 minutes could change your life. If you're open-minded, not like the trolls in the chat, but if you're open-minded, even the trolls, go check that video out. And if you want to carry on the conversation, there's a couple Discord links below as well. And then you can go have these conversations live in person with people. And you don't have to show your face. You can even go in the side chat. We like to carry on the conversation with you as well. Thank you. Live vegan. Much love.